this would be worth a minimum of $12,000.
Cool as this is, the mirror to me is really cool as well. Gangs of New York, classic movie.
Over the years, Pawn Stars has seen everything from vintage guitars to historic documents, but only a few items have sparked deals so massive they made show history. We're talking six-figure offers, once-in-a-lifetime artifacts, and negotiations so intense even Rick had to sweat. These are the biggest deals ever made in Pawn Stars history.
I hate to visit a Hollywood prop house. Normally they just rent productions, but they do have a few items that are for sale. I'm gonna go check them out. Hopefully I can get profits at the pawn shop.
Wow! This customer shop is stocked with all kinds of things. This is the type of shop you go to and find whatever you're looking for. Now starting this list, Chum is in LA to visit a Hollywood prop house he heard about. The customer wants to sell a couple of items, and Chum decided to stop by and see what he could get from the shop, with the hopes of finding something that would prop up the profits of the pawn shop.
I think everybody did, man.
It was classic. Spaceballs, been comedy directed by on sci-fi movies at the time, parody of like Star Wars, you know?
Absolutely.
And
Are you surprised that Chum knows a great deal about the Spaceballs Eagle 5 prototype? Oh, trust me, you shouldn't be. When it comes to movies, you can bet that Chum is always going to know something about it. And it seems like this particular prototype played a significant role in the Star Wars parody movie called Spaceballs. Chum and the customer both agree that when the movie was released, it was a classic.
For now, probably for a year, I'm just holding it for somebody, and they recently said they're, interested in selling it.
how much is the owner?
$12,000.
Okay, it's pretty cool.
Well, from the look of things, it seems like Chum is not interested in that Spaceballs Eagle 5 prototype. The customer told him that he was keeping the prototype for a customer who wanted to buy it for $1,200. Chin then goes on to say that these types of props can sell for up to $12,000, especially if they are going to be used in a movie. Since he is not interested in the item, let's see what really brought him to shop.
Right here. Recognize this?
No.
Okay. Hand mirror that Cameron Diaz used in Gangs and...
Now that sounds pretty cool. I'm sure if Rick were here, he would have been super excited to see something like this. Seeing that Chum was not interested in the prototype, the customer decided to show him something else. He had an antique Gangs of New York hand mirror that was one of a kind. And guess what? The mirror was used by the popular actress Cameron Diaz. That movie made huge numbers when it was released.
Classic movie, one of my favorite. It was made in 2002, directed. It's a time period of about 1862 New York. You got all these different immigrants kind of battling.
Haha, you can already tell that Chum is very interested in this particular mirror. I mean, who wouldn't be? Cameron Diaz used it for crying out loud. If I were to be in that shop, I'd have bought it with my last penny. Like I said, when the movie was released, it did some pretty heavy numbers because it also starred the actor Leonardo DiCaprio. Now that we know its origin, let's see how much the mirror is going to be worth.
I do. He's looking to get $5,000.
Not really sure, but this is a movie-used prop, freaking awesome. So this is something probably because I love the movie so much, though.
Looks like I was right. Chum does seem to be interested in the mirror. Chum asks the owner of the shop if anyone wants to buy the mirror, and he replies by saying that someone was actually looking to get the mirror for $5,000. Chum is interested in it, so he tells the owner of the shop that he has no idea of its worth, and he wants to get someone to help him determine its worth before he decides to pay for it.
Know each other, I'm taking it?
Dennis was one of the founding members of this house. It's the reason I'm working here today.
He was the prop in both of these.
He's a long time.
And just like that, Chum missed another opportunity to make some money off the Spaceballs Eagle 5 prototype. Chum's expert comes in, and to his surprise, he knows the owner of the prop shop. The owner even says that the expert is the very reason why he works in the prop shop. The first item he takes a look at is the Spaceballs Eagle 5 prototype, and he tells Chum that it could be valued at around $12,000. Guess what? Chum's focus is on the mirror. Let's see what the expert has to say about it.
Deal with this. If he didn't like this one, naturally Marty picked. We've got a photo here that with Cameron using, it shows that it's the exact one.
Phew. You can tell this expert has been in the prop business for a very long time. Chum asks the expert what he can tell him about the mirror, and he says that he found the mirror in Rome, and his initial idea was that if the owner of the shop did not like the mirror, he was going to give it to his wife. He even pulls out a picture where Cameron Diaz actually used the mirror. Well, he says that the mirror is worth $5,000.
Loved what he had to say about both of these. I don't know if I can purchase them both today. On the Winnebago, I'm gonna pass. It's really cool, but I absolutely love the mirror, and I don't want to leave here without it.
Because you look.
It's fine for Chum to show if he learned anything from his dad's bargaining skills. The expert leaves, and Chum tells the owner of the prop shop that he is going to come back another day for the Spaceballs Eagle 5 prototype, but he has to leave with the mirror. Chum starts his bargain at $1,700, and the owner of the shop is not taking that amount. He goes up to $3,500, and Chum is doing some serious calculations in his head.
Knowing that you made me happy because I get to look like Leo every day.
Yeah, I can live with 2,500. 25, you got it.
Make sure I still look like Leo before I spend.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like that, man.
Looks like we have a deal. Chum really loves this mirror. I'm sure he can't wait to show it to Corey and Rick. Their bargaining war goes on for a bit, and Chum tells the owner of the shop that he would pay $2,500 for the mirror. The owner of the prop shop gives it some thought, and he is like, that's actually not a bad price. Chum checks out the mirror one more time, and they shake hands for $2,500. That was not a bad deal.
Here, I got this really cool pistol that I'd like to see if I can...
All right, it's cute. Yeah, do you mind if I take a look at it? Yeah, so it's a little Derringer. You see a girl in like an old Western.
Let's all be honest, that gun looks like it was used by dwarfs or something. Like Corey said, it's a girl gun. Now this dude is at the pawn shop looking to sell what he refers to as a cool Civil War pistol. The customer and his dad were going through some old boxes, and they found the pistol in one of the boxes. He had no use for it and decided to bring it to the pawn shop to see how much money he could make from it.
How much about it?
To do a little research, I found that it was from the...
Okay, so most Derringers that I've seen have two barrels on top of each other that shoot independent. This one with a 3-barrel.
Yo, $4,000 for that little gun? I do not think that is going to happen. Corey talks about the gun a little, and from all he said, the gun was actually used in the Civil War. Corey then goes on to ask the customer how much he wanted for the gun, and he said he was looking to get $4,000 for the gun. This is the first time Corey is seeing a pistol like this, and he actually has no idea what the gun is worth or if he can even sell it.
Do you mind if I call a buddy of mine to come down and take a look at it?
No, that'd be great. I'd love to learn more.
All right, well, do me a favor, look around, hang out. I'll be back in a few, okay?
Extra comes in and says it's worth even more than what...
Newsflash. That almost never happens, but let's be as optimistic as this customer. Given that Corey has no idea about the pistol's worth, he tells the customer to hang around and look at some other items while he asks his expert to come take a look at the gun. The customer hopes that the expert is going to say that the gun is worth more than $5,000. Well, let's see if his dream is going to come true.
So this is a Marston, people say select fire. This is a really cool little multi-barrel. This predates semi-automatic firearms. It's a mid-19th century solution.
I think it's safe to say that Corey was not wrong when he said that the gun was a lady's gun, and that ladies actually had the gun concealed down in their stocking. It's a pretty good place to hide a gun if you ask me. The expert explains that the gun could fire just 3 rounds, and it was usually used for close range and close combat. Let's see if there's more to this gun than meets the eye. Haha, I can't be the only one who saw the excitement on the customer's face. He smiled like Santa was about to hand him some candy. The expert opens up the gun, and he explains how the gun is able to load 3 bullets into the firing pin. Corey then asks him what he thinks the gun is worth, and he says that the gun could be worth up to $2,000 if it actually works. I guess the next line of action now is to determine if the gun actually works.
Good, how you doing?
All right, we're gonna shoot this thing?
We are gonna fire it. Actually, at my own closet, I found a really old box of 32 rimfire, and this was made by Gotta Be.
Wow, I can't believe that he just said that those bullets are over 80 years old. Are they going to fire? Looks like we are about to find out. Corey, the expert, and the guy who brought in the gun are at the firing range, and they are about to see if the gun works at all. The expert was about to bring some old bullets he has had in his collection for a while, and he is ready to fire them hard.
It was a kid. Figured like it's a Western saloon gun, so man, it's...
Sounds good to me. Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
No pun intended.
Breaks open, put one round in.
He definitely felt like a cowboy while firing those rounds. The gun might be small, but it sure packs quite a ton of force. That explains why it was used in the Civil War. The expert loaded his old bullets into the pistol and fired the bullets at 3 different bottles. Guess what? They all went kaboom! Well, the expert has been able to show that the gun works. Let's see how much the expert is going to put the price at since the gun works just fine.
It works great.
So, what do you think it's worth?
You're looking at a 100-old, delicate, 3-barreled pistol, and it fired well. So
Looks like the price remains the same. The customer's dream of getting $4,000 for the gun is definitely off the table. Seeing that the gun worked pretty well, Corey asked the expert where he would fix the price for the gun, and he said, given the fact that the gun is a 160-year-old delicate 3-barrel pistol and it fired well, he would still leave the price at $2,000. It's negotiation time, people.
You heard Alex. He said it would retail for $2,000. I doubled my money on it, and the problem is there's so many of these types of guns out there. You know, they're really not that hard to find.
That was kind of unexpected. I honestly thought Corey would be very interested in having the gun. Now, after the customer placed the price at $2,000, Corey offered the customer $800. He said that he would have to double his money on the gun, and there are so many types of the gun out in the market, and it's not hard to find. The customer asks Corey for $1,250, and Corey sticks to $800.
So what do you got here?
It's a dinosaur hand.
The first time I've seen a hand in worse condition than yours.
Some bones that I believe are a dinosaur hand.
I mean, does anyone really know how much it would cost? Oh well, this lady finds her way to the pawn shop, and she has something quite extraordinary. She sees Rick and Chum at the counter, and she tells them that she wants to sell a dinosaur hand. Oh, trust me, Rick and Chum were surprised because they couldn't understand how and where she was able to get a dinosaur hand. That's probably the first time something like this has made its way into the pawn shop.
I used to be a caregiver, so I got it from one of the guys that I was taking care of. He used to collect bones.
Did he tell you what kind of dinosaur it was from or anything like that?
Pterodactyl, I could care less, I don't know.
Chum is just so hilarious. He just finds a way to make a joke about every single thing. The lady who brought in the dinosaur bones says that she used to be a caregiver and one of the guys that she used to take care of. She says that he was a bone collector, but he never told her what type of dinosaur the bones belonged to. Chum then says that he knows that the bones are real. Of course, Rick asks him how he knew that, and he says he is a professional. Yeah, right.
But how much do you want for the dinosaur bones?
I was hoping to get $1,500 up.
The thing is, I have a buddy that's a paleontologist, but he's out in the field and I'm not going to be able to get a hold of him. I've bought fossils before.
Now that's a first. This is something Rick almost never does. He asked the lady how much she wanted for the dinosaur hand, and she told him that she wanted $1,500 for it. Rick wanted to call his expert, but then realized that he was out doing some field work and there was no way he could get a hold of him. Rick then decides to take a gamble on the dinosaur hand, and he offers the lady $1,000. She agrees to the deal and they shake hands on it.
Andre, so the lid at least has to be off.
Hey man, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Andre, what's up? It's Chumlee.
What's happening, Chumlee? How you doing, man?
You know, some tips you gave me to put together this dinosaur hand we got.
Looks like they actually have a mystery on their hands. After buying the bones from the lady, Rick and Chum went to the office and tried to figure out how to put the bones together. Seeing that they were having no luck, they decided to call their expert, and he also couldn't believe that Rick bought an item without knowing what it was, how much it was worth, and if it was real to start with. Now they need their expert to come in and see if they didn't make a mistake buying the bones.
At the lab, we've got a ton of projects in there. Is there any chance you could come to Texas? And you know what? Why don't you guys bring it to the museum? Take a look at it there. We'll go do some digging.
You mean like dig for dinosaur bones and fossils?
At this point, Rick and Chum are in for quite a day. Apparently the expert who they want to have check out the dinosaur hand is still out on field work. The expert then tells them that they should head down to the museum where he works and then tells them that he is going to take a look at the dinosaur hand, and they'd use that opportunity to do some digging. While Rick gives some thought to the idea, Chum is already thinking about parking his bags.
Welcome to Texas, guys.
Hey, what's going on? Pretty cool spot you have here.
Thank you. Welcome to my museum and lab, where we do all the amazing stuff together that we find in the field. The majority of this...
And just like that, Rick and Chum made it to the museum. They meet up with the expert and they see quite a large collection of dinosaur bones that the expert has in his museum. Even I could not believe he had so many dinosaur bone fragments in his museum. Man must be making some serious money from tourists. Oh well, it's time to get down to business. Let's see what he thinks about the dinosaur hand that they brought in.
Oh, here it is.
Well, I can tell you right off, this is really exciting. I saw it in the video when you've got at least part of a hand, but not dinosaur. Looking at the shape.
Okay, that's a lot smaller than I imagined that dinosaur hand to be. Well, the expert takes a look at what Rick and Chum thought was a dinosaur hand, and the expert immediately tells them that it's not a dinosaur hand, just from looking at it. He says that from the shape and the size of the bones, it can only belong to a Permian animal. Rick and Chum have no idea what a Permian animal is, and that just makes them worried.
1,000. So what is a hand like that worth?
If I was selling this piece, $5,000.
All right, sweet. It sounds like I made a good deal.
You definitely made a good deal. All we're missing is the arm bone.
Hey, where did we find the arm bones?
Looks like they have a plan. But then again, Rick actually did make a good deal from the sale of the bones. After identifying that the bones belonged to a Permian animal, Rick went on to ask the expert how much the bones could sell for since he bought them for $1,000. The expert shocks Rick and tells him that he would sell the bones for $5,000. Rick heard that and he is super excited. Now he wants to go dig for the rest of the bones.
Hey, this is it.
Looks like a bunch of dirt and rocks.
Well, we're gonna have to take a... So, the first thing we need to basically get our eyes adjusted to the fossils we're looking for. So check this out. You see this smooth texture?
Man, I can see this taking all day. Rick and Chum are going to be so tired by the end of this adventure they are about to embark on. The expert, Chum, and Rick head out to the mountains to begin their adventure and search for the other bones of the Permian animal. Having no idea or clue what they are supposed to look for, the expert then shows Rick and Chum texture and what the bone is supposed to look like. Now they begin their search.
Hey,
What do you got?
I think I see a bite mark on this.
Dude, that's a big rib section. Yeah, that's clearly a bite mark on it.
It's for dinner.
Yeah. What about that?
Seashell, I think.
I have no doubt that Chum is definitely going to come back here to look for more bones. He was pretty much more excited to go on the adventure than Rick was. Rick was able to find some teeth that were not worth any significant amount. Chum, on the other hand, found bones that were worth up to $300. He might say it's not about the money and more about the experience. We all know he's going to be back to make some money. Well, let's see what's next.
This is pretty amazing, and it's an amazing... It works?
Yes, it works perfectly.
Hi, Corey. How's it going? Am I good at this? I mean,
No, this is absolutely amazing. I mean,
I don't care what Rick says. That doll looks scary as hell. Now Rick is pretty excited about the doll. I mean, Corey already said he was an expert and he loved dolls. The doll does seem to be in pretty good condition. It even looks like it has never been used by a home or for any act. Once something looks this good and clean, you can bet that the person who brings it in is going to want a lot of money for it.
So where in the world did you get this?
I got it at a garage sale in Santa Barbara, California about...
What are you looking to get for it?
I'm asking $800 for it.
it's in its original box. The box looks great. You got it in better condition. I mean, it's amazing. It's new condition.
Haha. Now, Rick seems to be the new baby of the house. He can't see a doll and just must be excited. Corey could not hide the fact that the doll is very creepy. The customer tells them that he is looking to get $800 from its sale, and that surprisingly sounds like a pretty fair price, given the fact that the doll is in pretty good condition. Corey wants to get an expert to find out what the doll is really worth and what other information they need to know about it.
Oh, have you replaced Chumlee with?
No, I just called you down here to see if you need an opening act.
We'll see you on stage with that.
I like this guy.
Stop moving his head like that, please.
This is...
Looks like we know why he is an expert on dolls. He might not seem to be as obsessed with dolls as much as Rick is, but you can tell he knows quite a lot about dolls. The expert goes on to say that the Jerry Mahoney doll is actually one of the most famous ventriloquist dolls in the world. To any customer, that just sounds like music to their ears. Oh well. Corey is still pretty much creeped out by the sight of the doll.
It's in really pristine shape.
I mean, I don't think I played with it really.
No, I think somebody probably bought this and just... can I see the front of the box?
You want to hold that?
No, not at all.
Can you hold that?
Well, that kind of sucks. You can see it on the customer's face that he is not happy about what he just heard. After the expert was done checking out the Jerry Mahoney ventriloquist dummy, Rick asked if the dummy came with a record, and the customer said it didn't. The expert then values the doll and says that if it came with a record, it would be worth $725, while without the record would be worth $425. Well, let's see what Rick and the customer are going to agree on.
So you heard what Murray had to say. What are you willing to take?
$475. How about $400?
You don't want it. How about $50?
No, I can't do that.
About 300.
How about $375?
Sounds great to me.
Haha, you can totally tell that Corey is not happy that this deal just scaled through. Corey can't believe that his dad was willing to pay $375 for what he referred to as the creepy doll. The expert left and Corey offered to pay $50 for the doll since he didn't want anything to do with it. Of course, the customer said that was not going to happen. Rick then jumps in and says he would pay $375 for the doll. Without thinking twice, the customer agreed and they had a deal. Oh, you can bet that Corey is about to hate his day.
Good. What are you doing?
How do you like the newest?
What's his name?
Chum, we haven't met. My name is Jerry.
Hi, Corey. How's your day going? I can see your lips move.
I know, I'm still working on the whole ventriloquist.
You can tell that Rick is having so much fun with the Jerry Mahoney ventriloquist doll. Corey, on the other hand, is just not ready to be around the doll because he still thinks it's creepy. After the deal was made, Rick took the doll into his office and introduced the doll to Chum as the newest employee of the pawn shop. Chum then says that he can see Rick's mouth move while the doll talks, and he wants to show Rick how it's really done.
With you? Don't tell Rick that. What's that, Jerry? I think Rick should give me a raise. Yeah, Rick, I think you should give Chumlee a raise.
Looks like Rick might start to regret that he bought the Jerry Mahoney ventriloquist dummy. Chum was not joking when he said he was going to show Rick how to properly use the doll, and guess what? He did it so well. Now Rick has to cope with the fact that another person in the pawn shop loves dolls and knows how to use them more than he does. Corey still refuses to be part of the whole drama. Oh well, let's see what's next on the list.
All right?
I don't know, Rick. I might not want to go with you. You don't put out on me when I'm in your truck. It's very dangerous. Jerry, I would put a seatbelt on you. Oh, you would, Chumlee. Yeah, get out of here while